We're going to take a closer look this evening at what it means to be an American ally in the Middle East. The Clinton administration has been trying to win Saudi Arabian support for military action against Saddam Hussein and has had no luck whatsoever. Here's the problem. This is the Prince Sultan Air Base in central Saudi Arabia. One of the reasons the U.S. keeps almost 50 combat aircraft here is to guarantee Saudi Arabia's security. But the Saudis say that if the U.S. attacks Iraq, U.S. combat aircraft may not take off from this or any other Saudi base. So is this what you want from an ally, especially one you protect? Well, this is a complicated relationship. First, here's ABC's Bill Rediker.
For 6 decades, the United States has played a crucial role developing as well as protecting Saudi Arabia. It was an American engineer who first discovered large quantities of oil in the eastern province in 1938. American engineering firms built Saudi cities, transportation systems, and military bases. And it was American troops who came to the Saudis' rescue when Iraq invaded neighboring Kuwait and threatened to push south. Never mind that Saudi Arabia is a kingdom ruled by only one family all these years, the United States has stood firmly behind this decidedly undemocratic country.
They're very careful to see if they can get as much as they can and not have to pay any more than they have to. Now, that's basically what diplomacy is all about. We do the same thing.
Certainly Americans have benefited from the relationship. The free flow of oil has been ensured, 15% of it from Saudi Arabia alone. But whenever the U.S. asks the Saudis for help, it seems to get little, if any. Nothing has been more frustrating to Americans than the lack of Saudi cooperation following attacks against Americans on Saudi soil. In 1995, after a car bomb killed 5 Americans at a military office in Riyadh, 4 Saudis were executed before the FBI was even allowed to interview them. And in the 2 years since a truck bomb killed 19 Americans at a U.S. Air Force apartment in Al Khobar, law enforcement sources say the Saudis have repeatedly refused to share evidence. That, plus the kingdom's refusal to allow U.S. warplanes to depart from its bases, leave many now wondering what sort of ally Saudi Arabia has become. Bill Rediker, ABC News, New York.
So why are the Saudis being so difficult? We've talked to a couple of specialists this afternoon. Said Aburish is a journalist and author who watches the kingdom very closely. Why on earth would the Saudis refuse to cooperate with their ally, the United States?
Well, the Saudis have a problem. Attacking Iraq is not popular with their people. So to them, it was a choice between pleasing their people or pleasing their ally, and they opted to please their people. They have a very strong Islamic movement. The standard of living is not what it used to be. And they have to do everything to respond to the street.
But if the United States is defending Saudi Arabia, if the United States is really the guarantor of Saudi Arabian security, why doesn't the U.S. have more muscle?
Well, the relationship regarding the defense of Saudi Arabia has to do with Saudi oil. The Saudis believe the United States has as much interest in defending their oil as they have. And they are providing, according to them, the United States with all the oil it needs at a reasonable price. So they believe that the quid pro quo has already been met. What Saudi Arabia is saying, you have to protect us because you need our oil.
What would this relationship be like if Saudi Arabia did not have oil?
I don't think there would be a relationship, because I really don't believe that Saudi Arabia is threatened for any other reason except for the fact that it has oil. Who wants a ghastly blank of desert, basically? I think the basis of the relationship is oil.
And we have also been talking to Richard Perle of the American Enterprise Institute in Washington. He was Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Reagan administration. You've been in this kind of a situation. The Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense have surely said to the Saudis, this is important to us. And the Saudis say, well, it's too bad.
It may be important to us, but what is important to the Saudis is that they not be left in a dangerous neighborhood with a dangerous opponent in the form of Saddam Hussein after we go home. And that's why I think we have to act decisively if we're going to bring the Saudis along with us.
I have heard it said that American Persian Gulf policy is what Saudi Arabia wants it to be.
I think that goes too far. But we we have great difficulty persuading the Saudis that they should take risks if we're not prepared to take decisive action. Partial measures, a few days of bombing is not going to be enough to persuade the Saudis that they should expose themselves to the wrath of Saddam Hussein.
We asked around Capitol Hill about the Saudis' reluctance to cooperate with the U.S. Members of Congress were hesitant to criticize the Saudis. Many of them think Mr. Clinton's Iraqi policy is misguided. And they cite Saudi Arabia's nervousness as a good indication that Mr. Clinton has not done a good job of building support, even in the region. We'll be back in a moment with the day's other news and another in our series, America at Work.